evening, guys. Today I'm going to show you how to make guacamole. So first, we have this bowl with our guacamole masher spoon thing, which is actually just a regular spoon. We have a big old knife. We have a cutting board so we don't put dings in our island. So I'm actually going to start with the avocado because I like to mash it up first and then add other stuff. This avocado's got a couple little bad spots. So when you're smooshing up your avocado for guacamole, it's important to cut those bits out because obviously you don't want gross bits of avocado in your guacamole. So, I'm going to fish out some of those, put them here, because again, gross. And they're usually brown or softer. You can tell because then it's not like the green, yellow color that, an avocado is supposed to be. I'm going to take a regular spoon, just kind of flop the rest of the avocado in the bowl. Then we can scoop up this gross bit, put it in the avocado shell. I have 2 avocados here because I don't want like a ton of guacamole, but also I really like guacamole. But I'm also one person. It's okay. Alright, this one had a little bit of less bad spots. So you flop it in there. Oh, he had a bad spot hidden back in there. So we're just going to scoop that out. Get rid of that. Now, because I have 2 avocados, I'm going to save 1 pit, because in case you have leftover guacamole, you put the pit back in so the avocado stays fresh. Oh, this one looks terrific. Just a little bit there. A little bit over here. That's a good avocado, I think. Oh, I lied a little bit. Well, we'll scoop that bit out. Canigers. Here you go, buddy. Come here. Come here. Things can go wrong in many areas of your life, especially when a camera's rolling. Go scoop out that bit. Scoop out that bit. The other thing with avocados is sometimes like they're really, really ripe and you're like perfect, and then you wait like 20 minutes and then suddenly they're overripe and terrible. So, that happens in life with stuff. And that's not as much avocado as I wanted, so I'm actually going to cut up another one. He feels pretty good, a little soft, definitely ripe. Yeah, he's doing all right too. Also, before working with food, it is important to wash your hands, which I did off camera because I thought that's not very interesting. Here we go. Scoop out that one. Wow, he's doing terrific. Gonna scoop out a little bit here, a little bit here. Ooh. Okay. And then bloop. Bloop. Then take this spoon thing and kind of smoosh it up a little bit because obviously you're not going to want to eat giant hunks of guacamole or avocado. So you kind of smoosh it a little bit, and depending on how smooth or chunky you want it is how much you're going to smush it down. I like it a little more chunky because it's just how I like my guacamole. I think it adds texture. Alright. Then I like to put in onion and tomato. We have here probably about 1/3 of an onion. You peel a little bit of that off there. Take off the little end here. And then you're going to want to dice it. So I usually turn it on its side. Make some little cuts down. Like that. Try not to cut my own fingers off. So again, this is something you can chop it as fine as you want to, depending on how much texture and how much you like a giant chunk of onion in your mouth. On your chip with your guacamole. So we flop that in there, cut up the other side. I'm obviously not cutting it the same way because I get bored of cutting everything the same way all the time. That's who I am as a person, and I like myself like that. I also prefer using red onion because it's a little more flavorful and also adds color, but you can also use white onion. Floop that in there. Floop. And then stir it in. Also, the more you add stuff, it generally smooshes up the avocado more and makes it a little smoother as you add the things. Then I have this tomato. It's about the size of my hand. And I'm going to use probably half this tomato because I don't like tomato as much. It's also wetter, which I don't like super like. But I do like tomato in it. I'm going to cut that puppy in half. And usually I like to use Roma tomatoes, the little plum tomatoes. This is not because it was cheaper at the supermarket. So that's also my advice today. Take the cheaper tomato. Although I do generally recommend the Roma tomato because it's a little bit firmer, which this one definitely isn't, as I smoosh up a tomato. Oh boy. Well, you get what I'm trying to do here. Then you can hold your knife like this a little bit, chop it up, and then you have your tomato mush instead of some pleasantly diced tomatoes. Flop that in there. That actually ended up being a little bit more than I anticipated. That's okay though. Tomato's good for you. It's good for the heart and the rest of the body. Mix that in there. And, where's our paper towel? It doesn't matter. Then you take a little bit of cilantro. Cilantro is delicious. And I don't care what other people say to you about it, use cilantro. You're going to want to cut that up a little fine so nobody's eating a giant chunk of cilantro leaf in their guacamole. I usually just cut it down to the stem like this because I don't particularly care for the stem. Then you're going to want to grind that up a little bit, as fine as you want. Because, I mean, maybe you like cilantro more than I do, or big old leaves in your guacamole. Alright, then you take that, sprinkle it in there a little bit. Should have done the tomato last in hindsight, but I don't usually. But I didn't anticipate that one being so juicy, you know? You stir in your cilantro. Da, 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 da. Then you take some lime. Let me tell you about lime here. Lime is also delightful, and it's not just for limeade or other beverages. I'm going to use probably half of one because not a lot of guacamole. So you just kind of take it and you squeeze in your lime juice. You're just squeezing the lime. And there you go. It's good. It probably ends up being maybe a teaspoon of lime for this much. You stir it in. Make sure it's in there good. Now, the most important ingredient, I think, and this is a personal preference, you know, after the avocado, is garlic. I would smoosh up like fresh garlic cloves, except for that's typically large chunks of garlic. So what we have here is powdered garlic. Or garlic powder, I suppose, is what it's called on the bottle. I'm going to put in a lot because I really like garlic. But if you don't like garlic, that's okay. You don't know what you're talking about. Do what you want. Then you stir it all up. Make sure it's good in there. And then take my little spoon. Dang, I think that needs more garlic. So you sprinkle a little bit more in there. A little salt and pepper to taste. If you like salt and pepper, like I go either way, back and forth on it. Fancy little pepper grinder there, because living my best life. It also belongs to my roommate, so I'm actually living her best life. Alright. Stir that up a little bit more. It's looking pretty good. And take another bite. I'm not really getting the lime. Oh, there was all onion in that bite. So we're going to squeeze a little bit more lime in there. A lot of guacamole is done to your personal taste also. Because I also know people that don't like cilantro, or they don't like lime, or they don't care for garlic or onion. I also know people that just kind of smoosh up some avocados and then put salsa in there, which you can also do. That's probably a little faster. But really, if you're going to do something, do it right. Okay. One more taste test. That's perfect. That's just how I like it. Now, obviously presentation is everything. So we have this bowl that's shaped like an avocado. So I'm just gonna gently transfer my guacamole from the mixing bowl into the avocado bowl, so everyone knows that it's made with real avocado. Wow, it fits so nicely in there. I really didn't think it was all gonna fit. But I'm a little bit spatially challenged also, as some of you may also be. Squish that in there. Doo -doo -doo. Doo -doo -doo. And again, like I said, save one avocado pit to make sure the avocado doesn't turn all brown and gross. Pop that in there, and then you can put it in the fridge and wait to serve it at a party or for just yourself later tonight. Thank you. This has been Making Guacamole with me. Have a good night.